that will be it for us right now. But stay tuned because there are matches coming right now. There should be Belgium, Indonesia. So
Yes.
I'm not quite. I think I'm gonna have to pass the torch to my fellow casters.
Yeah, I believe it will be Sarton and Snow Leopard taking our place, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe someone might be... No?
No, that's
Okay.
us. Yeah.
Yep, so that is us, and we will catch you later and pass it over to Snow Leopard and Sarton.
Hello and goodbye.
Thank you very much, guys, for introducing us like that. Very nice of you. Nice match to see here, Japan versus UK. Almost went down to the wire. Very exciting. And yeah, I'm Sarton. I'm joined with Snow Leopard here. We're going to look at Belgium versus Indonesia, the 12th versus the 13th seed. How are you doing, Snow Leopard?
Hello. Doing well. And yeah, I think this one is going to be an exciting one. Definitely some tiebreaker potential. Again, had one tiebreaker at least so far. This weekend, see if we can make it too.
Yeah, the tiebreakers have finally been unleashed this weekend. It's been a long wait. We haven't seen any tiebreakers up until this round, but we've seen 2 by now, I'm pretty sure. Let's hope for another one, right? What are your expectations here? Do you think that Belgium will be able to perform as well as Indonesia, or the other way around? Considering the fact that, well, Belgium actually seeded higher than Indonesia, but it's been looking really good so far this tournament for Indonesia. Really stepped up their game after that qualifier round. So, what are your expectations here?
Yeah, I was thinking of this earlier because normally, if you asked me a year or two ago, Belgium versus Indonesia, I'd be like, oh, Indonesia's just going to win. It's like not a question. But Belgium keeps getting better every year. I feel like Indonesia has stagnated a bit. And we can see that with the seeding now, with Belgium being 12, Indonesia being 13. So I think it's going to be really close. I don't know which one to call it.
Well, I wouldn't be able to call it as confidently either, but I think that Indonesia has really stepped up their game so far this tournament. But Belgium hasn't really struggled in their performances either thus far, even though I've heard from Quinten himself that he preferred to perform a bit better, and he's a little bit disappointed by his own performance at least. So maybe there's some performance to be won still. Maybe they've practiced after yesterday to ensure a better performance today. I'm not entirely sure. But there's definitely certain strengths and weaknesses to both teams. I believe that Indonesia is going to be much stronger on the hidden pool compared to Belgium. And then Belgium has a fairly solid hard rock and double time team, even though they've been struggling a little more on those mods than I'd expect them to so far. But still, I do believe that's going to be more than enough to throw off Indonesia's game as well.
Yeah.
On those picks at least.
Yeah, that is fair. Belgium did win against Germany yesterday, but like you mentioned, they had a couple slip-ups here and there. There was a couple scores that were questionable. They did lose a break point to Germany and a couple of Germany's picks as well, but in the end, they did pick it back up and take the dub. So if they are on their game today, I think they can be a good challenger for Indonesia.
Yeah, looking at chat, the prediction is really close this time around. 62% of chat actually opting for, well, oh, never mind me. It switches quite a lot. There's still a lot of people who put in a lot of their, they're called Osu coins on the stream, right? Yeah, they are.
Yeah,
They're putting on a lot of their Osu coins, so it just went from 62% for Belgium to 52% for Belgium. As for the predictions, 48% for Indonesia. So that's really close. People, yeah, they can side both ways without being considered crazy. I do believe I can see either of these two teams win.
Yeah.
Anyhow,
Banned,
they are
bans
getting
coming in like we'd expect. Hidden 3 going to be banned by Belgium. No surprise there, I believe. That's what they banned their last match as well. Double time 1 being banned out by Indonesia. Like we mentioned, hard rock double time. Some of Belgium's strengths. So
yeah, nothing unexpected has happened so far. And then I think Belgium will be first to pick here. It's taking a little long. Never mind me, it's Indonesia to pick first as well. Hidden 1. Yeah, no shot. No strange things happening here so far. I think it's gonna take a while before we see some creative strategy on either of these two teams. Well, probably Indonesia's going to run out of comfort picks a little bit earlier on than Belgium, just considering the fact that there's just more volume to the Hard Rock and Double Time pool if you combine those two in general. But I'm fairly certain they've practiced a couple of other maps plenty to fend off Belgium as best as they can. Maybe like the combat pick and the Nomad pool could also be an option for them. But as for Belgium, I think they're just going to exhaust those pools first. So more strategy may be required on the end of Indonesia. I'm not entirely certain how they feel about them themselves, but hidden, no surprises. No surprises.
Yeah, Mixed Mod 2 could also be a good option for Indonesia. That low AR Mixed Mod map.
Oh yes, certainly that as well. Mixed Mod has really served a lot of teams well so far this year. I believe that a lot of teams have this dynamic where there's at least one or two really solid players, and then the rest just being a little bit under their level for the most part. But that really doesn't matter too much if you're playing Mixed Mod. You can have those people, those really good people, play Hard Rock or Hidden depending on the type of map you're playing. If it's low AR, you expect them to play Hidden rather than Hard Rock. If it's a quicker map, you'd expect them to pick up Hard Rock. Just becomes exponentially harder then. And it's served a lot of teams really well because a lot of compositions are like that. Just one or two really strong players and the rest are trailing behind just a little bit, or maybe even more than a little bit. Either way, we'll see that in a bit. First off, hidden pick here for Indonesia. Let's see it happen.
A little early miss for Jesse there.
It's a tough map. It really is. Some have dubbed it to be the hardest map this map pool. I wouldn't per se agree, despite my lacking hidden skills for sure. But we'll wait and see how the Indonesians will perform. I'm very much looking forward to that, especially. A couple of misses here and there once again on both sides actually. So Indonesia has a slight lead at the moment, but nothing to really boast about just yet. Trades all over the place. Seed again missing. Traded by Ipampan. Elskeffer missing after. But I expect an Indonesian miss to come very soon as well. Ipampan and Yesa missing again. Too much stuff happening at once.
Yeah, no full combos on the board. That's long gone. Korneko going to be leading combo for now. Pen will find another miss, but that lead slowly growing for Indonesia. Heading towards 100,000.
Yeah, Ceresi also picked up their footing. Korneko now misses. It's unfortunately dropping the 300 combo. Zien is also back up in the 200, so it's fairly close in terms of the combo game. But yeah, Indonesia already built up a 100,000 score lead, so Belgium is going to have to perform better from now on. Another miss there for Korneko will indeed inch it out for Belgium a little bit. Another miss there for Korneko. Good news for Belgium. And Ipampan also following that up. Elskeffer, however, trading that, so that doesn't matter too much anymore. But that score difference already dropped by about 40,000 points. And really, Korneko is looking like they're struggling a little bit more now.
Yeah, Jesse and Zien are picking it up, and it is helping. That score lead keeps dropping towards Belgium. All the way down about 50,000, but a miss from Elskeffer will give them a bit more padding.
First pick of Hidden is always quite nervy when you're in a tournament setting. I believe it's the hardest thing to start up on. And you can see a lot of these players who are characteristically actually very good at Hidden miss a bit more often than you expect them to. Again, a big drop there for Indonesia as everybody lost their combos. Zien's dropping right there just before I was able to call them out. But the score difference will stabilize around 50,000 points. More misses now in the end of Belgium, however. So Indonesia might be able to pick up the pace a little bit, but they can't really do that either. Oh, this is really going to go down to the wire, I do believe.
Yeah. Oh, Jesse was holding it down for a little bit, clawing some score back. Gonna find a miss, though. And it's just everyone's comboed down. Starting to run out of map. Restia trying to take Indonesia the stretch.
Yeah, double miss there for Zien and Elskeffer aren't helping the Belgian team either, but Ipampan struggling there, missing a lot of nodes, like consistently missing. Ceresi also missing right at the end, but there's probably not enough map left, despite the combo advantage on the end of Belgium right at the second. 45,000 points will divide these two teams, and it's gonna be a win for Indonesia, but not by a lot, really. Belgium probably pretty happy with that performance, I would say. And Indonesia maybe a little scared of what's to come if their most advanced spot is not really pulling ahead of... Is not making them pull ahead of Belgium by too much, really.
Yeah, that was, Indonesia kept the score lead the entire map, but it looked messy, which is not great. I think one thing that they may be feeling okay about, though, is honestly, Belgium's scores, they were good. They were commendable, but they weren't crazy. It's not like they popped off. They just were keeping up with Indonesia, and Indonesia seemed to be making a lot of misses. So as long as that's just early match jitters and they can get over it, I think Indonesia should still be alright on hidden, but is something to keep an eye on.
You're very right about that. Yeah. And this is a bit unexpected, I do believe, from Belgium, going for a Nova pick here. I'm very aware of the fact that their players are very consistent and solid, so Nova shouldn't be that big of a problem for them. But Indonesia, I mean, they're pretty consistent as well. Some tournament experience on their end, and even if you didn't have too much tournament experience before this tournament, you've come pretty far already, so that will also help with the nerves for sure. So going for this very vanilla type of map, I'm not entirely sure. It could swing either way, I do believe. It's more of a pick you'd expect towards the end of the match, which happens in most of the matches so far this weekend. But yeah, Belgium's just got to get it out of the way right at this very second.
Yeah, the classic no mod 1 consistency pick can be a coin flip for higher skilled teams or evenly matched teams. So see how it's going. Perhaps Belgium just want to kick Indonesia off of hidden. Don't let them get warmed up on it, something. But we will see.
Yeah, that depends. Like, if you want to throw a team off of their hidden performances, then going for hard work or double time makes the most sense. Especially if that team can't swap around the plays too much. That isn't the case for either of these two teams, unfortunately. Well, fortunately for them, really, but unfortunately if you want to use that tactic, because, well, they have 6 very apt players on both sides. So swapping around in terms of like having a couple of players focus on the higher AR stuff and then a couple of players having them play hidden, that shouldn't be that big of an issue for either of these two teams. It might even be less of an issue for Indonesia than for Belgium. So maybe that is part of the reasoning. And here we go, Kroneko with a couple of weird jitters there.
Just skipped out on the first 10 notes, but that's all right. He's, well, I would say recovering now, but not really.
Some unfortunate misses indeed, but not entirely sure why. Honestly, that is not something you'd expect to see from Kroneko, so maybe there's a couple of hardware compromises. I'm not entirely sure. Anyway, seems to be stable now, so we're moving into 200 combo for all players except for Kroneko, who's trailing by a little bit. Score difference of 40,000 points isn't that bad yet, but this map is quite foreseeable too. I believe the Belgian team can have a person at CFC there, so could that already be enough to push Belgium towards the first point? We'll have to wait and see. So far, very stable performance from all players.
Yeah, if Belgium just holds strong throughout the whole map, this could be a problem for Indonesia, but it is 3 minutes long. There's plenty of time for some slip-ups, and it does seem like Korneko's back into it. Pan's gonna find a miss, though.
Another one there for Pan. And Belgium is gonna extend that initial lead. 82,000 points now. That is enough to be able to bear a miss of 3 on their own side. And it's extending still, just a little bit. Oh, another miss there for Kroneko. Absolutely gonna hurt Indonesia there. Belgium can see that they're doing wonderfully. They just have to hold on to whatever they've been doing so far. And really, they'll just bring it home easily at this rate.
Yeah, that's the risk for Indonesia. Got 3 full combos still for Belgium. They can hold on to that for at least another quarter of the map. They could find some misses at the end and it'll be no sweat at all.
A couple of sharp chatters commented that Kroneko very likely didn't have the correct finger on the dash button. Or at least they had to find the dash button a little scrambled at the very start of the map, which seems fairly logical considering the fact that Koneka has been doing better now. A couple of misses still, but nothing very alike the first misses at the start of the map. And the final full combo on the end of Indonesia is also going to fall right there. Chia and Belgium not making any mistakes. So, well, you can't really do too much about that in Indonesia's case.
Yeah, your opponent just has 3 full combos and you had at least a miss, then not much you can really do. Belgium looking to hold strong to the very end.
Unbelievably cleanly played.
Full combo. Beautiful play. Beautiful pick from Belgium there.
Super impressive indeed. A triple full combo, all with a 99.94% accuracy too. They didn't go too crazy on those spinners, but they really didn't have to. And that's a very, very solid point for Belgium. Yeah, Indonesia's going to have to swallow that and move on. They're going to go to hidden 2, which is to be expected. And that is already the final hidden pick that's available in this entire matchup.
Yeah, I'm wondering the Nomad 1 pick. Well, obviously they were well practiced on it, but also they probably assumed that Indonesia was going to take hidden 2 for their next pick. So maybe they didn't want to give them triple time or hard rock where they could take hidden along with it and at least keep the mod on.
That doesn't really work.
It's not
the
quite
other
the
way
same.
around, does it?
Especially, yeah. This is low AR as well, I suppose. So.
Yeah, hidden is actually mostly used by the players that prefer not to play low AR hidden. Well, at least for double time and hard rock, I'm speaking of those types of players, just because it's easier to read and also kind of helps if you have really old hardware for your computer, because it will make OC run just a little bit smoother. So mostly used by players that aren't that quick in reading notes, but not really something that implies them being good at hidden in general on regular hidden maps or low AR hidden maps especially. So that doesn't really matter too much, I do believe. A couple of swaps here for players, I'm pretty sure though. Svengst also entering the lobby here for Indonesia. Bit of a different setup. And again, this is supposed to be a very certain win for Indonesia, but considering that first hidden pick of that match, that was a bit closer than we'd have expected. So they have to be wary still. All the funky hidden songs have already been picked by now and then. All of them are very swing-alike. This is maybe a bit more jazzy compared to the first one. The first one's definitely just straight up swing, but very similar in terms of sound. And I won't complain about it. Surely I won't. I love myself.
I like
jazz.
them. I like swing maps.
I do as well. That wasn't sarcastic, even though I know that kind of sounded sarcastic. It wasn't. I'm a happy person, and I enjoy things. All right, here we go. Third pick of the match.
What I'm wondering is what country is this map from, or is this from a game or something?
I wouldn't know, honestly. Only
What's
thing I
the
do know
lore
is that
behind this map?
Dika was the mapper. It's an Indonesian mapper, so maybe that will inspire a bit of vigor in the Indonesian hearts here. Early miss here for Jesse, right before the 200 combo, so Indonesia will take up a bit of a lead. Another one there. And we shouldn't be surprised to see misses here. This is still a very tough map. We are kind of assuming that these players will have very high combos and maybe even have seen these types of maps, but it's really not that straightforward. Elskef also missing there. Not really a hidden specialist, despite their very good performance in hidden so far. But Jesse really seems to be struggling, and that's giving a big hand to Indonesia in terms of score advantage. 175,000 points. Now that's the difference I kind of expected to see in the first hidden pick as well.
Yeah. Low AR hidden, this is where Belgium's really going to feel it, and Indonesia going to flex their muscles there, because you can play high AR hidden even if you're not a hidden player. Like, it might be a little rough, but not too bad. But low AR hidden, you really have to have that skill set.
That is something you have to practice. That takes blood, sweat, and tears for sure. And the Indonesians are very keen on playing this type of mod, I know. And for some reason, the newer players are as well. So lots of hidden expertise over there. We did see a miss from both Kroneko and Swings on the Indonesian side as well. But it's been traded off nicely, in their case, nicely by El Skefe. So not really too worrisome. They can see the score difference already too. They just had a little bit of a break there. And I don't think they're too worried about this at all. A couple of misses again throughout the lobby. Actually, only Celestia holding on to that, I think, full combo still. Will we see another stellar performance from them here? Do you see?
Yeah, that was a difficult little pattern there, but Celestia continuing to hit it.
All these streams are really difficult to catch that precisely. You can overshoot these very easily, I do think. And Celestia won't? Will do that right at the very end of the map. That is so unfortunate. But it's more than plenty to secure a victory here for Indonesia. It doesn't really matter too much, that miss at the end. Zeet also had a very nice score there of 960,000 points, but not quite enough to match Celestia. And then looking at the other Belgian players, yes, he's just not being able to really warm up into this type of gameplay. Securing the second point there for Indonesia. That is, however, the final hidden pick. So they're going to have to get creative now as Belgium goes for number 2. So will we see a repeat here, Snow Leopard? Will Belgium go for a triple FC again?
No, we'll have to see. We'll have to see. It is interesting that they're avoiding the mods, but I mean, with that no mod 1 performance, it's hard to argue with them. Love me a good Rusty map, so excited to see what they can do. This could be a bit more difficult. No mod 1 is more of that consistency pick. This can be a bit of a more technical pick, shorter as well. So, don't know if we'll 100%. See a triple FC, but I think we could see some good performance either way.
I think this is rough to triple FC even for the very best teams in this tournament. And I'll be very honest here, I haven't really followed the performance too much from teams like USA so far this weekend. If they even played so far. I'm not entirely certain anymore whether Poland and Argentina also played this in their game. But this is a lot tougher than the first no mod pick we saw. Lots more technicalities everywhere. So maybe not a triple FC here for Belgium. I would absolutely be shocked if they were able to do it here. But I would love to see it, but not expecting it. However, will the difference grow even further between Indonesia and Belgium on these types of picks compared to the first no mod, or will it shrink a little? Let's see here, the 4th map of this game.
Yeah, at least so far, a better start for Indonesia. Kroneko ready to go from the beginning. So they're not taking a 40k penalty right off the bat, which is definitely an improvement.
Great, but misses here.
He will trade, yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna level out still. It's only 1,500 points of difference, which is just very minute, obviously. We move into the first harder section. Lots of hype is here. Longer streams. And so far, everybody holding on except for Jesse again. The initial miss there. No, actually not the initial miss there for Belgium, but the second one. And Emmanuel also dropping. Some trader misses there again for Kroneko and Emmanuel. But Indonesia, this time around, has a bit of a lead for the no mod pick. It's gonna shrink, however, due to a miss there from Kroneko. Again, struggling a little bit towards the latter half of the map. But they've done pretty well so far, but Ipampan dropping that last huge combo for Indonesia. Chia is at 640, however. And another miss for Amenemois. Will level things out a little bit, actually giving Indonesia a bit of an advantage, considering that El Skefe also missed right after. But yeah, no full combos here, I do believe. Maybe Chia does still have a full combo. I'm not entirely sure. Probably not.
Chia missed early. So not quite full combo, but a little bit off.
Just a little bit off, but 900 combo, this is still very impressive. And it's enough to give Indonesia this advantage of 45,000 points still. As we're nearing the last part of the map, and Belgium might choke their pick here. No misses anymore for either side. Chia with a miss very late. And Kronecker right at the end of the map. It might be enough for Belgium to pull through still. It's really close. And Belgium closes in. The gap is now in their favor. But Elskepin is right at the end too. Indonesia with 10,000 points ahead of Belgium still clutches it. Oh my goodness. That's going to hurt so much for the Belgian team.
Absolutely heartbreaking there at the end. Beautiful one miss from Jesse. Minasmoa also performing quite well on that, but Indonesia honestly very well performed, and fortunate miss at the end there for El Cafe. We'll say
heart-wrenching.
Yeah. Indonesia had it until the end anyway, until they also had an unfortunate double miss, so don't have to feel too bad if you're Belgium on that. It's not, you didn't completely throw. You kind of got lucky that you were going to steal it anyway. But yeah, heartbreaking regardless. Mixed Mod 2 going to be coming out. I was thinking earlier, the other low approach rate map that does force someone unhidden at AR 8.3.
So mixed mod then. Okay. This one is rougher for the hidden player on both sides. And again, it does seem that Indonesia did pick up their game on the previous hidden pick that we saw. This is a little similar to that in terms of hidden gameplay. So maybe a bit more technical even, really. It is more technical, I should say. So maybe a bit of an advantage there for Indonesia. But then again, Belgium might have the stronger hardware player. I do believe that they're going to be a bit more solid, depending on who Indonesia puts into that spot. I can't quite tell yet. That is a tough call to make for both teams, I do think. I think My Cutie will take up that role for Belgium, then Zend moving in for hidden. But
yeah,
will Celestia go for a hard rock play here? I don't believe they will, but so far nobody entering that spot yet.
Interesting.
Yeah, we're gonna have to
swap up. Is El Cafe gonna take hidden, or are they just moving the slots around to match up what Indonesia's doing?
I think they're both confused.
Yeah, we have typically seen top slot be Nomad, the left one be hidden, right one be hard rock, or maybe the bottom two swapped, but Nomad normally on top, but doesn't have to be done that way. So
it changes per match, really. Sometimes the referee doesn't really care for it too much, but most of the time it is hard rock in the top spot, then hidden, then Nomad. We'll see if it is gonna be played out that way here. Doesn't seem to be the case. Hidden actually in the top slot this time, right? And then who will pick hard rock for both sides? My Cutie and Chia going for hard rock here, then okay. That does seem logical. No surprises really either, but we still have to figure that out ourselves as well. This is a fairly rough map for both hidden, and I think it's quite uncomfortable for Nomad too. So I wonder how these players will perform, especially after the last Nomad pick. Early miss there for Zend. It's going to give a very slight advantage for Indonesia, but that's the hidden slot. Again, that's the hardest. Kronecker also missing there for Indonesia. I do at least expect more misses from both of those players, as Kronecker misses another 2 notes. Yeah, it's going to be a race between those two.
All combos down, just Chia holding on right now.
Yeah, with a really good hard rock play so far, combined with hidden. I mean, that's just for reading purposes, but it still looks a lot harder in my eyes, at least, and probably for most viewers too. Another miss there for Kronecker is gonna give Belgium a bit of a combo advantage as they all approach the 200 combo mark. Pan also at 185. Now, My Cutie with a very unfortunate miss right there at the slow part, which is probably the hardest part for hard rock.
Yeah, it's a short map. It's minute 49, we're already 3/4 of the way through, so about 25 seconds on the clock.
Could still go either way. 30,000 points isn't that much. Oh, Zenhoub is going to increase that for Indonesia. And Kroneka has really found a footing, I do believe. This is a bit of an easier part for the hidden players, I'm pretty sure. I think this is the Ki, meaning they can at least somewhat visually see the notes still. My cutie with another miss right at the end. That's going to be too much for Belgium to bridge, I'm pretty sure, as we move into that final spinner. Yeah, that's a solid win.
Kroneka at the end, but yeah, very nice win by Indonesia. I think that score difference is around 3 misses worth maybe 3.5. But very solid performance from Indonesia, bringing it to 4 points.
Yeah, we were really fixated on those players who missed, but Chia dropped a full combo on that hard rock play there. Very impressive. Has to be said as well, and that really helps out the Indonesian team on this pick as well, I would say. Elskeffer with a single miss on no more. A bit unfortunate. And Belgium now trails by 3 points already. It looked very close at the start of the match, and it still feels very close between these two teams. It feels like it could really go either way still, but they're gonna have to pick up a couple of breakpoints now. They will try to do that on double time this time around. Finally going for some high AR.
Yeah, time to pull out the secret weapon. The Gemzu double time gonna be picked.
There's also a 9 pick in the double time bracket this week, but not opting for that was maybe it was banned actually. I might be wrong here though. Not entirely certain. Lots to keep up with during this match, but this is a very technical double time pick, so this means a lot of very small wiggles all across the board. Despite the fact that the AR is fairly low still for a double time pick, it's still very hard to keep up with everything that happens in the map. It's 2 minutes long, so you won't have to bear it for too long, but it's a bit weird if you just went from the mixed mod pick to this, especially for the no mod player, the hidden player too, if that is the same player, which is not the case for either team. So good swaps there, I do think. And yeah, they are getting started real quick.
I think Belgium not in too bad of a spot despite the scoreline. They need to win all of their points, and they just need 1 break point. And if they can get that break point back, then they'll at least go to tiebreaker. And also Indonesia have run out of the maps we identified at the beginning as probably good for Indonesia. Double miss coming out already for Indonesia.
Good initial lead here for Belgium. And as you already said, yeah, there's not really any sort of very comfortable pick left for Indonesia anymore. I believe that the first mixed mod pick is also much less one-sided than the second mixed mod we just saw. And this double time pick is not working out for Indonesia at all so far. 150,000 points of difference already, as the Belgian team just doesn't break a single time so far. Indonesia with no full combos left, however, despite the impressive performance over there too. Elskeffer and Manamois missing now, but that's not going to solidify. That's not going to give the lead over back to the Indonesian side by any means. So,
yeah, still comfortably 100,000. No miss there from Manamois, though. So we'll start eating away at that score lead, but only a quarter of the map left to go. Another short one again.
Couple of weak points.
30 seconds.
Oh, but will they hold on? Everybody misses now, so it doesn't really matter too much. But if Indonesia is able to crop up some sort of combo here, if they can magically conjure one, then maybe they can actually come back here. Doesn't seem to be the case, though. Just drops all across the board. Elskeffer and Renesia doing all they can. Renesia also dropping. And I think nobody is going to be able to excel at this last part of the map, which will solidify the lead for Belgium. It does grow even larger now at 170,000 points. Yeah, good play there for all the Belgian players. They held on for long enough, and the early combo was exactly what they needed to get this win.
Yeah, lots of trades there at the end. Fortunately, that does favor Belgium in the lead there. So nice second point for Belgium. And that was their pick. So yeah, like I mentioned, they can win this next breakpoint off Indonesia and then win their next pick. After that, they'll be all tied up. So Belgium in an okay spot. This next pick from Indonesia going to be a crucial one for them to win, though.
Do you expect any other pick than mixed mod 1 here? Do you think Indonesia... Oh, actually...
Okay, apparently no mod 3. I was going to say maybe no mod 4, go for the convert, but yeah, I was expecting next mod 1 or no mod 4. Not no mod 3.
Not sure everyday catch map. That's for sure. It's another www map. Let's just call them corner. It's very similar to the tiebreaker we had last week. Very technical. It is not flowy at all. Well, it is if you're really good at the game. But it's not the type of thing that players really do play or practice daily. So, despite the fact that we saw both no mod picks so far being picked by Belgium, it's got to be Indonesia to go for this one. Probably for similar reasons that what I've just said. But I do wonder, will they actually go for mixed, but eventually or not?
There's also an Osu original, so shout out to Culprate for creating this song specifically for CWC 2024.
Lots of Osu originals so far.
Absolutely.
Really stepped up
Always
that game. Yeah. Okay, here we go. The quirky normal pick has started.
Ooh, Korneko, find that first miss. Traded. And then it's was.
But Ipan, Pan, and Jesse will also trade here. Again, similar scores. Jesse and Korneko now trading. It's been going very synchronously so far. Again, another Jesse Korneko trade. So far, El Skefa and Ceresia pulling their weight, though.
Yeah, a little bit of slider tech in this map. I spy the works of Yoshi Green. I'll confirm with him later if he participated in any of this.
Ooh, the tough doubles here, and only Emanamwa will hold on to those. That's going to favor Belgium once more. That score gap will grow a little further. 36,000 points already. That's not too bad. That will enable Belgium to miss at least once here. The map won't get easier though, so I do expect a couple of misses for both sides, so it could still shift. El Skefa really angry about that miss. I do see them move the catcher around. Yessi also missing on a very particular spot there, and Indonesia will grab the lead again.
Yeah, they're holding strong now. It's not good for Belgium. They need this break point. Rescue can find a miss, but Jesse has been struggling a little bit.
Echo's gonna follow that up though. A bit of a combo advantage there for Indo, but there is a... Is that a disconnect? I really hope that isn't a disconnect. We can't really tell what's going on now. And Manama did join the lobby again, so that might just be a technical difficulty for the end of Belgium. Oh, that could really hurt. Jesse, again, missing. El Skefa also doesn't have any sort of combo. It is looking like Indonesia is overperforming here. They are outperforming the Belgians at least. So maybe the difference of Emmanuel wouldn't really have mattered too much here. But we can't tell.
Yeah. Hard to say. El Skefa is finding a miss, though. Pan traded. I think Indo probably had the lead anyway, but Stressia down. Very hard to say.
It's hard to say, but unfortunately, I think Emmanuel really did disconnect there. So it's not really that hard to say if that's the case, because that will very certainly give the points to Indonesia. And really, all across the board, the performances were better than the Belgians. I think it wouldn't really have mattered too much. Even a full combo from Emmanuel would have probably not sufficed. Well, maybe it would have sufficed, but they didn't have a full combo either way. So
yeah,
I don't think this will change the outcome.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the scores. Korneko's the only one lower than Jesse or El Skefa, and by just a hair. So, like we said, we did not have a full combo from Jimenez Wah. Hit a couple misses, so pretty sure that's an Indo victory.
Yeah, Emmanuel ironically does translate to "take me away," I'm pretty sure, but we don't want you to go out of this lobby. We don't want to take you away from this match.
You have to wait until the match is over.
You do have to. Yeah. I really hope that won't anger them too much, because that is never nice to see happen for anybody involved, especially not for the player in particular. They're gonna have to giddy up and win 3 picks in a row. That's what they have to do now. Don't care too much for what just happened. You probably would have lost that pick either way. Stay calm.
We got our good old chat mod confirming that Indo would have still won by 22,000 if Venezuela SS'd. So, yeah. That's going to be clear-cut win for Indonesia. Bring them to match point. Belgium now in a bit of a tough spot. They need 2 break points, I believe.
A single one. They need a single break points.
Actually, yeah,
if they were to win this pick, just one more pick for Indo there. And then again, Indo doesn't really have anything but mixed bot that they might be more comfortable on compared to Belgium, but the first the first mixed mod pick is a lot different when you compare it to the second mixed mod pick. It's a very conventional map. So in that sense, I do believe that Belgium won't have that much weak links either. Hard Rock now, though. AR10. This is a very, very long pick. 4 minutes of just pure concentration. Despite the fact that it's not too hard of a map, it will tire you out eventually. So that's mostly why people will miss on this map.
Yeah, we got Cake Noob coming in for Belgium. And it's more probably sorting out the internet issue. Or it could just be Cake Noobs ready to go on this map. We'll find an early miss. Yeah, we'll trade.
I'm on the edge of my seat. This has been a pretty close match so far. Cake Noob will find their second miss. Chia's gonna follow that up though. So, lots of misses now. Elskefa also missing right there. Chia trading that with Elskefa. A team miss, however, for Belgium is gonna hurt much more than anything we've seen so far. Kroneko and Ipampan will be able to bolster up that score a bit.
Yeah, holding on to those full combos. Only a couple droplets missed. Starting to stabilize around 55,000 scored advantage for Indonesia.
Something similar will have to happen on the Indonesian side now. Elskefa and Cake Noob are back at 200. Myang Cutie now as well. Chia will be the first to break on the Indonesian side. Now it's just a matter of holding on for Belgium, which they won't. Cake Noob will trade that miss. Lots of trading this match so far.
Yeah, the hard rock a bit brutal on this map.
Chia
with another, yeah.
Kroneko will also follow up another miss there. Belgium will crawl back.
Very long map, 4 minutes long. Barely halfway through it, so plenty of time for either team.
I wouldn't be too shocked if these players were to miss still. Ipampan so far looking very consistent, however. 16,000 points is what separates these two teams.
Cake Noob not quite getting over far enough. Gonna get another miss.
Ooh, and there's the miss for Ipampan. Will break eventually as well, together with Kroneko and Cake Noob. So, Kroneko, Gia, and Elskefa, everybody missing except for Mike Cutie there. Belgium will be able to crawl back into the leading position here. All thanks to that. Mike Cutie, all thanks to their combo. Chia is gonna miss following that up. Cake Noob trading that. Oh, this is gonna go down to the very end of the map. We can't call the winner quite yet. 10,000 points is so minute.
My Cutie gonna go down.
Yeah, we'll go down too. Goodness gracious, a bit of a combo advantage here for Indonesia. I think Cake Noob will drop again. Just not really too comfortable on this map. They're trailing behind by quite a lot compared to the other Belgian team members. Chia as well, though. Kick Noob again missing there, so 20,000 points is now the lead for Indonesia as we move into the last quarter of the map. Actually, a little less than that. More misses are required from the Indonesian side, but Cake Noob can't fight their footing. Ipan with a late miss. 2 more misses are required from the Indonesian side in order for Belgium to crawl back into this one, but Cake Noob just breaking and breaking. It doesn't seem to be stable over there at all. And I think that's going to be enough for Indonesia to pull through.
Yeah, just the outro now. Cake Noob was actually ahead of Chia most of the map. Is struggling towards the end now, though. Chia's picking it back up.
My Cutie and Elskef really tried there, but it's not enough. Ipan actually wiggling those, and that's going to confirm a 6-2 victory for Indonesia. Good performance again for all players. Both Cake Noob and Chia struggling a little bit on this map, unfortunately. But Chia eventually was able to pick up the pace again, and they took it just like that. 6-2 victory for Indonesia.
Indonesia not done yet with CWC this year. Fortunately, Belgium we will be saying goodbye to, but solid performance out of them. Made it through the second match of quarterfinals. But Indonesia will be victorious and move on to play in semifinals next weekend. So congratulations to them on that victory.
Well done to them indeed. Another good performance from Indonesia so far in this tournament. And yeah, it's a very typical team to come far into a CWC tournament. So this is somewhat what we had expected. The opponents will get harder as they move on, obviously. I wonder how they'll fare up against the team they'll face next week, which I'm not entirely sure which one that will be.
It'll be Finland or France, it looks like.
Both tough countries to beat. But again, a very good matchup if that is the case. Anyhow, there's more. There's more, as you can see on your screen. Actually, in only 7 minutes from now, you will be able to feast your eyes upon USA versus Russia. 2 powerhouses will duke it out there. Still both in the winner's bracket. So either way, both teams will remain in the tournament. But it's just very good to see these top players duke it out. It's lovely. Then Finland versus France. That's a loser bracket match. So the winner of that game will play against Indonesia, as you just said, next week. So 2 very good matches upcoming, right?
Yeah, it looks like Finland versus France is going to be right here on this stream, so don't go anywhere. Get ready for that. Meanwhile, USA Russia can be at the same time, and that will be over on the B stream. So you guys, whichever one you want to watch, either stay here or head there, but we'll be back in about 5 minutes for the final matches of this weekend.
Don't forget to buy your banners still.
Oh,
we have to plug that
course.
real quick. Moving it in.
Banners.
Yep.
I got mine. You have yours.
No
all I'm saying.
If you want to check out the B stream, you can go to OSOLive_2. That's where you'll find the other game. So you can just open both tabs at the same time, right? More action on your screen. Most of you have dual monitors anyway, so just go and do that, will you? All right. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Snow Leopard, for casting with me. Hope you'll enjoy the next 2 matches. Bye-bye.
All right. See you.